If you have bills and debt piling up, a personal loan through NetCredit can provide funding up to $10,000 to help you get back on track if eligible. Visit netcredit.com today. All NetCredit loans and lines of credit are offered by a member of the NetCredit family of companies or one of our lending partners. Visit netcredit.com/partners for more information.
You're listening to the Big Bark, the dog-centric podcast that brings you the latest news from the canine world. I'm your host, Darragh Bourke, and each episode I meet with professionals from right across the canine industry, from pet shop owners to groomers, behaviour specialists and vets. Along the way we catch up with dog owners to find out more about those special bonds that make a dog man's best friend. I'm joined each episode in my Barky Man studio by my amazing dogs, Bruno and Milly, who between them take the meaning of the phrase good dog to a whole new level. Today we are coming to you live with a very special show from Treaty Veterinary Clinic in Limerick. And joining me in the hot seat is Grace Cassidy, who leads the puppy parties here at the clinic. A series of sessions designed to help you learn everything you need to know in order to care for your new puppy. From socialization to nutrition, healthcare and behaviour, right down to being a responsible dog owner. Throughout the show we're going to be meeting some of the beautiful puppies and chatting with some of the awesome dog owners down here to find out about those special bonds that they share with those puppies. So without further delay, let's get this show started and let's meet the puppies and let's meet our co-host for today. Hi there and welcome to the Big Bark, the podcast that talks about everything dog related. Today we're coming to you live from Treaty Veterinary Clinic in Limerick, where we're finding out all about the puppy parties held here at the clinic. To do that, let's give a huge welcome to Grace Cassidy, who organises the puppy parties here at the clinic. Grace, a huge welcome to the show and thanks so much for having the Big Bark here this evening.
Thank you very much for having me and coming to see us here in Treaty Vets.
Brilliant. So Grace, tell us a bit more about you and what led you to starting the puppy parties here?
So I am a veterinary nurse here in Treaty Vets. I've been qualified for just over 3 years and I've been running puppy parties here in Treaty Vets since I started here a year ago. So I've always had kind of a big interest in kind of informing people about, you know, what they should be doing, what not to be doing. Just a little bit more information. I think a lot of people can be a bit lost when getting a new puppy and would dive into the internet, which can be quite misleading in some places. So we run these puppy parties mainly for socialization and just to inform owners and have a chat and answer any questions that we can.
Brilliant. And we have some adorable little puppies running around here, don't we? And Grace, what topics exactly do you go over during the sessions?
So I mainly focus on socialisation, so I would talk owners through that. Then would talk little bits about healthcare, nutrition, just how to be a more responsible owner, and a wee bit, you know, cover topics that they might be interested in, a little bit on behaviour and training and that.
So a bit later on we're going to go into a bit in depth. We have a few questions that have been sent in to us from different people through our social media platforms and via email that we ask people to get in touch around this week. So tell me guys, why is it so important to get a puppy socialised at such a young age?
So you want to start from a young age to continue it throughout their lifetime. If you don't start now, I think it does really hinder a dog's life, especially if you know the situations might change for an owner, so they might move.
Brilliant. And so when is the best time to, I suppose, start socialising a puppy?
So the puppy socialisation period usually is from 3 weeks to 6 months old. So from 3 weeks, when they're with their mother, they socialise within the litter. Once obviously you get the puppy, then usually around 8 or 9 weeks. places then, and just continue it on for as long as you can, doing as much as you can within that period.
Okay. And I suppose gotta ask as well, because I think myself this is a fantastic idea. Like I was telling this from the guys outside, I have a bloodhound cross with a black Labrador home, and I suppose he wasn't socialised at a young age, and he has that, how do you put that, bit of a fear of or nervousness of other dogs even to this day.
Yes.
And what are the negative effects of not socialising your dog at a young age?
Well, as you said, the fear is there. You can't really sit any dog down and explain to them, this is where we're going, this is who we're going to meet. So getting them exposed to these things from a young age and continuing that, it just helps build it up. Lots of different places, lots of different people, lots of different things, and trying to continue that throughout their life. If they're not exposed to these things and maybe are later on in life, it can be very scary for them. So starting at a young age is always the most ideal to do.
Okay. And I suppose this is actually a question that we got in from listener of ours. So they want to know what are the best practical approaches to helping your puppy not just socialise with other dogs but other humans as well.
So bringing them out and about as much as you can. So if you're going for a walk, bringing them with you. If you're going in the car, bringing them with you. Out to parks where you're going to meet a lot of different people, a lot of different dogs. Bringing them in here where, this might be considered quite a scary place. Bringing them in, like tonight, where they're just playing. They're not here to get anything bad done. But meeting different people. Some puppies mightn't have been brought up around children, so that can be quite scary for them meeting new children. So trying to get them to as many different situations as you possibly can is usually the best.
Absolutely. And do you find that, I suppose, bringing them into, like, having a puppy clinic actually held, like, the puppy parties held here in the clinic, do you find that takes away, like, some of the stigma and the fear that a lot of dogs have with actually coming into the vet?
Oh, completely. With these puppies tonight, you've seen they've had no problem walking through the door. Some dogs we see the door and just freeze. They know where they are. But bringing them in where this is a safe place, nothing bad's going to happen. Usually, up to now, they've been coming in for injections, which aren't too nice. Coming in, just have a bit of a play around for an hour and going home. It's seen as a bit of a nicer experience. I would always recommend that owners would bring their dog in, even if they're just collecting a bag of food or a worming tablet. Bring them in. They're only in here for a couple of minutes and going home, and they see that nothing bad is going to happen.
Brilliant. I suppose, like, one question we got from Hayley up in Tala, who sent us this in on Instagram. It's actually in relation to more the area canine communicate. Hello, lovely dogs. Someone say hello to me. Yeah, this is great.
Bella and Buddy.
So it's more along the lines of, I suppose, the area of calm and singles. And how early in life do you think yourself, do pups actually recognise the body language of other dogs? Like, you see outside there with Sonny, you see the play bow that he's doing, and like even like I suppose the submit position that Buddy was doing there. Like, it's obviously very important to actually develop these techniques and like allow dogs to actually learn this language when they're young, because like there are dogs who get older and they don't understand the body language of their own species.
Yes.
So it is very important obviously to develop.
Completely. So with situations like this, that we're constantly being around dogs, so from about 3 weeks old, as I said, they start learning off their mother. They then come to someone's house where there mightn't be other dogs, so they kind of forget a little bit of that. But coming into somewhere like this where there are a lot of different puppies, that they're learning off each other, you can see here they're all playing together. There's no fear in them. Absolutely brilliant.
And nearly every one of them
everybody's just joined here, so you can see that they're all learning. They're having a sniff, they're having a play around, just getting them used to other puppies for as long as possible. Getting them exposed as much as possible usually is the best to help them develop the body language and learn their own signals of their own species.
Absolutely. I suppose my own kind of background I've been in the last couple of years is I'm kind of going more into the role of canine psychology myself.
Right.
And a lot of like kind of the whole area of like calming signals, canine communication. That's very one of my passions as well. So like seeing like how they're all interacting outside the time, it's just it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, it is lovely that like puppies last year, like little Freddie there, completely timid, just hiding under the chair. By the end of the session, he was out among the others. Today he's running around with the rest of them like nothing ever happened.
Lovely. And we have another question here from Rachel in Ballycommon, back to road there. And Rachel says, very similar to what would happen with Bruno. Her pup is very nervous around other people, and she's afraid that might lead to issues like fear or aggression in later life. And just like, again, like, I'm like instances like this, like puppy parties, like this, socialization. It's a big thing to curbing that fear and curbing that aggression in later life.
So with nervous or more timid puppies, I would always tell the owners to let the puppy do everything in their own time. Don't force them into a situation. Like this can be a little bit overwhelming for a puppy, so I would always say to the owner, you know, if they are getting a wee bit more timid, maybe walk them away in a different area. Let them come out at their own time. Don't just throw them in the middle of the puppies or drag them through or throw them on someone's knee. Can be very scary for a puppy, so just letting them do things in their own time and trying to get them exposed as well, but not pushing them that it's going to be a fearful experience for them, and they'll remember that then, that it can be quite tricky to deal with. So just little bits at a time, letting them come to their own terms in their own time.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so we moving on. I suppose touching on nutrition. I'm hoping that someone might come in and like
someone might. I'll see if someone will volunteer.
And volunteer a while. To just it's what I love finding out as well is it's part of the purpose of the podcast is to meet dog owners and find out more about those bonds that are there that make a dog man's best friend. Like you can see it out there with all those folks. You can see how happy all the owners are just watching them off playing. It's a magical bond.
Oh, it is completely. Everybody, I think the kind of role of a dog has changed so much that they've gone from just being a pet that lives outside that you feed and you walk to becoming part of the family where, you know, they come on holidays with you, they do everything with you, you kind of plan your day around them as well. So I think that has drastically changed in the last couple of years, that they are definitely more part of the family now.
Absolutely. And speaking now about like taking on holidays, like Ireland has a long way to go, but
it's getting there.
It's definitely getting there. It's become a lot more pet friendly. You're seeing a lot of hotels, even on Limerick now. The Castle Oaks, for example, is dog friendly. I believe Castry Park is dog friendly now, and you're seeing a gradual change.
Yes, it's got a long way to go, but it definitely is going in the right direction.
Yeah, and like even around the city there, you're seeing a lot of like, say, I suppose like pubs and restaurants, like even like the Europort or Covent St. Joe's.
Yes.
They like Mickey Martin's would just be some of the ones now. Curragao, all these ones that like would actually like allow dogs inside, and like actually not just even allow dogs in the smoking area, but someone who actually allow dogs actually in to sit next to the fire, which is it's great to see.
It's nice, it is lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grace, I suppose another topic looking through the pamphlet that Treaty Vets had up on the page, on the Facebook page. You talked about nutrition as well, would you?
Yes, so I kind of briefly go over it. I kind of talk through people through the benefits of feeding a good nutritional diet. Talk a little bit about, you know, incorporating treats into the diet and how not to be over-treating or overfeeding them, and just about, you know, what you should be looking out for if you're not feeding a good diet, where signs you can tell that it mightn't be the best for your puppy.
And I suppose like you have to look at it this way, that's needed from a very early age.
Oh yes, of course.
It would, I suppose, depend on in some cases depend on the breed too. Like obviously some dogs need a different diet than others, but like how important is it to introduce a healthy diet at a young age?
So from a young age, obviously they're doing most of their growing, most of their development, so you're wanting to get in the best nutrition that you can to them, to help their bone growth, their brain function, just everything. Make sure it's you know, there from day one. You don't really want them to be lacking anything from a young age, But if you're feeding a good quality diet, it should help support all those aspects of their growth.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, so let's see. So obviously it's great insight to get as well. Like you want to know as well what you're feeding your dogs to. Like, I suppose a lot of the debate that's around nowadays is you look at the likes of areas like raw feeding, and like a lot of people going towards kind of that area. But when you look at like some of the foods that are on the supermarket shelves, like you need to be careful of what you are feeding your dog too.
Yes, well, we would always try and recommend you feed a good quality diet. So I personally would tell people to say I'm not too keen on myself. There is a lot of risks to it, but feeding just a normal, good quality puppy food from the beginning, keeping them on that if it suits them, and just making sure that you're not kind of varying from that too much.
Like it is all about balance. Like,
oh yeah, completely.
I'd be of the same mindset. Now you can't just have like say a raw meat diet. Like you still need the other elements. You need the grain. You need you need the actual.
Yeah, there's a lot of things into it, and if you're feeding most of your good quality pet foods out there, will have everything in them, so you'll not need to be supplementing with anything else.
Okay. Thanks for that, Chris. And okay, so moving on there, just a bit there, and I have a question in from Pippa on Instagram. And what would be the recommended diet she asked for an 8-month-old Maltese puppy?
So, with Maltese puppies, they're small breeds, so you're probably wanting to feed something that's more more tailored to a smaller dog. Because they have quite small mouths, you want something with a smaller nut, so it's easier for them to chew. Completely up to yourself what you want to feed. It's always something it's completely individual to every dog. So, yeah, just something that's suitable for a small breed puppy usually should be fine.
Brilliant. Okay, and I'm sure Pippa is listening in, so hopefully Pippa's listening on YouTube tonight. And let's see, so another topic that you covered then would be responsible dog ownership.
Yes.
This is a very big one in Ireland right now, especially with the changes that are coming, like the review of the Control of Dogs Act that took place earlier there last year. And I suppose the big question people ask is, why should you be a responsible dog owner?
I think the more question is, why wouldn't you be a responsible owner? You are committing to 10 plus years with this pet, so you should be doing as much as you can to make their relatively short life compared to ours the best possible. So, simple things like keeping up with their vaccinations, making sure that you have time to bring them for the exercise that they need, making sure they have a safe, secure home, feeding them good food, making sure they have fresh water. It's simple things that we should be doing, but unfortunately some people just don't do them. But I try to educate people on little steps like neutering that would be a responsible thing to do in most scenarios. Try to educate people on how to enhance the life a wee bit.
Yeah, it is a lot more than just like having their dog checked, having their dog license.
Oh yeah, there's so much more. And
I suppose it's one of the big things that people should be asking themselves before they actually get a puppy as well. Like, think of the responsibility that's involved. Yeah,
it is a massive commitment. Your puppy, it's going to live for a long time. You're going to have it, and it's your responsibility. They can't just look after themselves. They can't go to the cupboard and give themselves their breakfast. You need to be there to do all this and bring them out for the exercise they need, and care to any health problems that might arise, and make sure that you're doing as much as you can for them.
Okay, fantastic. Alright, let me just have a quick look here. So, just going to move on there, and we'll look at a small bit. It's more a fun topic. We're actually getting through topics fairly fast this evening, which is pretty good. We have a few questions on this, and let me just see. So, it's more a bit of a Q&A.
Okay.
I'm Robert Conti, Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department. We're stepping up our speed and aggressive driving enforcement. Speeding is deadly. Speed-related deaths are 100% preventable. Please always obey posted speed limits and help make Vision Zero a reality.
So we have Ronan and Carrie, And one asks, how soon should I start training my new puppy?
So as soon as possible, from day one. Once you have them, getting into those habits, getting that good kind of base laid down, you're getting your training, you're getting your comeback commands, you're getting your sit, your lie down, and then, you know, lead training as well. Once they have their vaccinations, getting them out for walks, doing your lead training then. So from as young as possible as you can, just starting that good routine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, there's no point having a puppy and waiting about 2-3 months to actually do the basic training.
Yeah, so the basics can start at any time.
Yeah.
A little bit more complex, you can wait a wee while so they're more
yeah.
confident, but starting as soon as possible.
And okay, so my next question comes in from Ashlyn in Leitrim, and Ashlyn says, my 9-month-old puppy keeps chewing everything up, from shoes to socks. I can really commiserate with that one. To the table's legs. What do I do? I'm at my wit's end.
So puppies usually will chew because they're teething, they will chew because they're bored. There can be a lot of different reasons. So I would always recommend investing in good toys. So getting your good, you know, hard rubber that they're not going to destroy. Giving them to them stimulation toys as well, like your Kongs and your slow feeding poles. Gives them a little bit more stimulation, and maybe switching your toys around as well. So taking them away, giving them back, so they seem a little bit more new to them. But it is a little bit hard to get trained out of them, but it usually is within that teething phase that they're going to ruin everything. So as much toys as you can, playing with them as much as you can, keeping them distracted from going at the shoes and socks and skirting boards and whatever they might be going at. So just a distraction and plenty of stimulation there for them.
I suppose there is also that element there for like a lot of dogs that the chewing, especially like of socks and shoes, is that bit of separation anxiety too. If you're not home, like they're looking for something that smells like you.
Yes, that can be.
Yeah.
So making sure they are distracted when you are away.
So Alan from Ballinstow asked, my 5-month-old Bernese mountain dog insists on jumping on everybody who walks through the front door.
So this again will take another little bit of training. So I would always recommend that get people to ignore them. Just completely ignore. I know when a puppy jumps at you, all you want to do is rub them, but tell people just ignore him until he settles. Maybe give them a command then and a treat to give them. So telling them to sit. Once they're sitting and just doing that nicely and they're nice and calm, that's when they get the attention. So they know that when people come to see them, if I'm going mad all over them, I don't get any attention. Whereas if I'm sitting, waiting, I'll get rubbed in. So it takes a lot of training, a lot of persistence, but it can be, especially with a big puppy like a Bernese Mountain Dog, can take a little bit of time. But persistence is key. Just keep on trying and telling everybody just to ignore him when he's sitting, give him the attention then.
And I suppose it's also important too that like positive reinforcement is it works wonders with puppies especially.
Yeah, once they're sitting, giving them a treat, giving them a pet. Someone's getting a wee bit vocal now.
Okay, well that's all the questions I have for you there, Grace. So I'm wondering, would anyone would like to
We'll see if
hop
we
in?
have volunteers.
Carl, what is it's your dog? Isn't it?
No, Bella.
Bella is your
harness.
Oh, lovely.
The big one.
Oh, lovely. lots of energy outside there. And what kind of breed is Bella?
She is a Mastiff Labrador cross.
Oh, lovely, beautiful.
Hey, Bella.
A lot of energy. So, hello, Bella.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Bella. Hi. And what is she?
She's 17 weeks, I think.
Oh my God, she's beautiful.
Or so.
It's strange to see a Labrador that has like that bit of long hair as well. Like that comes.
The chin.
Yeah.
So funny mix.
Tell me, Carl, what kind of bond have you got with Bella? Do you feel that there is a strong bond?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
And so, why did you choose? Why did you choose three? Why? Was there any specific reason? Or?
There was no reason. I lost I had two Westies that passed away last year.
Okay.
I had one, she was nearly 15 and a half, and the other was 12 and a half.
Wow. That's a long life.
And I said I wouldn't have another dog for a long time, and next minute I just realised how much of an asshole the cat was as a pet.
Yeah.
So I was rubbing him one night and started clawing me, and I said, you know what? You're useless as a pet. I need to have a dog at my side again. So she wasn't gotten as a replacement.
Yeah, but like I can relate to that because I have a black lab cross my blood door, and we actually got Bruno Milly a couple of days after. Well, it was my dad that got Bruno a couple of days after our old Labrador passed away, and it's just like it's that comfort, it's that company that you have too, like, and
that, and well, we moved out of the country, so we said right time to have a bit of a bigger dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just pure chance. I kind of wanted to get a rescue dog, but because of the house we're after buying, we're fairly limited.
Right, okay.
We don't have a dog run built or
Yeah.
anything yet, so we said, alright, I want to get something that has to be young.
Yeah, but and how do you find the puppy parties? Yeah,
Fantastic, actually. Get used to other dogs.
It's really good. Like, I mean, watching the dogs socialise with each other outside there. It's
kisses me.
If you have bills and debt piling up, a personal loan through NetCredit can provide funding up to $10,000 to help you get back on track if eligible. Visit netcredit.com today. All NetCredit loans and lines of credit are offered by a member of the NetCredit family of companies or one of our lending partners. Visit netcredit.com/partners for more information.
My mother's 2 dogs off. They don't have the patience. They're not pups anymore. So one of them was one of my 2 dog pups. Like, so one of my two dogs when they had puppies. They're still in the family, like.
Yeah. Alright, Carl. That's great. Well, listen, thanks for joining me. Alright, and that is nearly it for the show here today. Before we wrap up, we have a Big Bark birthday shout out to give, and that goes out to Belle, who is a lab sheepdog cross. It was Belle's birthday 2 days ago, and Belle is not only one of our awesome followers over on Instagram, but also one of the subscribers to our newsletter. Belle received a card that was sent to her dog mom, Lorraine Rice, who's one of our followers on Instagram, and that came from Bruno Milly. So happy birthday, and we hope that you got spoiled, Belle. Okay, well, if you want your dog to receive a birthday card for their birthday, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter over at the bigbark.ie. And that is... So that is all we have for you today. Big thanks to Grace for joining me today, and a big thanks to all the wonderful puppies and our humans here. Great to see the socialization that goes on between the dogs, and it's a fantastic thing here at Treaty Veterinary Clinic. A huge shout out to John and the team here at Treaty Vets for arranging this. And if you want to listen back to this episode or any of our previous episodes, you can find them on the bigbark.ie or barkandmad.ie. You can also find our episodes on our podcast platforms. That includes Spotify, that includes Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. And check us out directly on Spreaker. If you search for us on Spreaker, you'll find us out there. Be sure to follow us on our social media sites. We're on Twitter and Instagram as barkandmad_ie, and on Facebook as barkandmad. So don't forget, if you like what you heard today, be sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or fill out our feedback form over on the bigbark.ie. We'll chat to you next episode. Have a good week.